In today's class, we will start with the problems in unsymmetrical fault analysis. Problem 1 on single line to ground fault without fault impedance. So I'll read out the question. A salient pole generator is rated 20 MVA, 13.8 kV, has direct axis subtransient reactance of 0.25 per unit. The negative and zero sequence reactances are 0.35 and 0.1 respectively. The neutral of the generator is solidly grounded. Okay, so don't include Zn. It is not grounded through neutral impedance. It is directly grounded. So Zn should not be included anywhere in the formulae. Determine the subtransient current in the generator. Okay, and the line to line voltages for the subtransient conditions when a single line to ground fault occurs. Okay, and the generator operates at unloaded condition at rated voltage. Neglect the resistance. So the impedance is having only the reactance which is given. Okay, so single line to ground fault operating in a unloaded generator, and we should not consider fault impedance. Okay, so here the base MVA and base kV of the machine should be taken as the generator ratings. Okay, so we wanted the base values to calculate the fault current in the actual units. Okay, so here in this problem they had given three reactances. One is direct axis subtransient reactance, the other two are negative and zero sequence. So direct axis subtransient reactance is nothing but the positive sequence reactance X1. So what will you take? You should take X1S or Z1 as J.25 per unit, Z2 is J.35 per unit, and Z0 is J.1 per unit. Okay, and you are asked to calculate the subtransient current in the generator. So we have already learned about the three states of a machine or the power system when a fault occurs. The first, as soon as the fault occurs, the machine will go into subtransient state, followed by transient, followed by steady state. Okay, so we have already discussed in module 3 the first part. Subtransient parameters we denote by double dash, transient parameters we denote by single dash, steady state no superscripts. Okay, so here subtransient current means the fault current at the subtransient condition, IF double dash. Okay, so these are the things you have to note down initially. So as I told, we have considered the generator rating as the base values, base MVA and base kV. Since all the values we will be finding in per unit, to convert this into actual units, we need to calculate the base current. Okay, so for calculating the base current, we have written our usual formula which we are learning from module 1. KVAB by root 3 into KVB. So we are given with MVAB, so we are converting KVAB into MVAB. On substituting the values of MVAB and KVB, we will get base current as 836.76 amperes. Okay, so the first task is to calculate the base current. Then I am writing down the given values X1 or Z1, Z2, Z0, and given the neutral is solidly grounded, so don't consider Zn in the formulae. Okay, so what are the parameters to be found? We have to find ID double dash, which is nothing but IF double dash, the fault current in the subtransient period. Okay, then line voltages. What are the line voltages? The voltages between line AB, BC and CA. Okay, so now we will start with the calculations of the parameters using the formulae whatever we have derived in the first derivation. So step 1, for single line to ground fault, we have already proved that the three sequence components of currents are equal, IA0, IA1, IA2. So from this we write IA is equal to 3 into IA1. Okay, and we know the fault current IF is equal to IA by assuming that the single line to ground fault occurs at line A terminals. So IF is equal to IA is equal to 3 IA1, and IA1 formula is written EA divided by Z1 plus Z0 plus Z2. Okay, so these formulas are taken from derivation 1. Okay, now step 2, draw the combined sequence network of the single line to ground fault without fault impedance. I have drawn the combined sequence network and the values of Z1, Z2 and Z0 are marked in the diagram. Coming to step 3, we have to calculate IA1. Okay, so what is the formula of IA1? EA divided by Z1 plus Z0 plus Z2. Okay, so now what is that EA? EA is the EMF induced in phase A. Okay, so now in module 2, for calculating the fault current, we had two approaches. One is KCL approach, the other is Thevenin's approach. Okay, so what is the second point in those approaches? If the machine is unloaded or if the power system terminals is left open, or that is in short, for unloaded conditions, we have to assume the pre-fault voltage or EA as 1 per unit. Okay, so we are using that assumption and writing down here, for unloaded condition we have to consider EA is equal to 1 angle 0. Okay, so now I am substituting the values of EA and all the three sequence impedance. We get IA1 as 1.43 angle minus 90 degree per unit, or minus J 1.43 per unit. Okay, now in step 4, you have to calculate the fault current. Since they have asked to calculate the fault current during subtransition condition, we have denoted it as IF double dash. Okay, so IF double dash is nothing but 3 into IA1. So if you take only the magnitude of IA1, it is 1.43. I am taking only the magnitude. So magnitude of IF double dash is equal to 3 into magnitude of IA1, which we got it as 4.29 per unit. Okay, so now to convert this per unit value into the actual units, we are multiplying the per unit value of fault current by the base value of fault current, which we calculated in the beginning. So we got the actual value of fault current during subtransition condition as 3.589 kiloamperes. Okay, so the next step is to calculate the sequence components of voltages. Okay, so we are following the same order as we have done in the derivation. So now sequence components of voltages VA0, VA1, VA2. We have written the three well-known formulae, VA0, VA1 and VA2. Substitute the values for IA0, substitute the value of Z0. Okay, you will get VA0 as minus 0.143 per unit. In the same way, calculate for VA1, EA minus IA1 Z1. Okay, since it is single line to ground fault, we have IA1, IA0, IA2 all three equal to minus J 1.43. Okay, so substitute the values and get VA1, then find VA2. Okay, then step 6. So what is step 6? We have to calculate the original voltage phasor VA, VB, VC. Okay, so why we wanted to calculate VA, VB, VC? Because in the problem they have asked to calculate the line voltages. What is line voltage VAB? It is VA minus VB, where VA and VB are the phase voltages. Okay, so remember, so this matrix form is the voltage phasors, phase value of voltages in terms of the symmetrical components. Okay, so VA, VB, VC are the phase values that we should be very, very careful. So VA, VB, VC are the phase values of the voltages. So now by expanding this matrix, you will get the formula for VA, VB, VC. This is also a familiar formula. Now what is VA? VA0 plus VA1 plus VA2. When you substitute the values, you will get it as 0. And VB, it is VA0 plus A square VA1 plus A VA2. And you know what is A square? 1 angle 240. What is A? 1 angle 120. So when you simplify, you will get minus 0.215 minus J 0.99 per unit. In the same way, calculate for VC. Note that whatever values you have got for VA, VB, VC are the phase voltages. Okay. Now next step is to calculate the line to line voltages, which is asked in the problem. So we know VAB is equal to VA minus VB. VBC is VB minus VC, calculated. VCA is VC minus VA, calculated. Okay. So now we got the line to line voltages also in per unit. Okay. So we got the line to line voltages in per unit. Okay. So next step, to convert this per unit value of line to line voltages into actual units. Okay. So for that what I am doing is I am writing whatever line to line voltages I got in polar form. In polar form, these are the line to line voltages. Okay, so now for converting this into the actual units, we will see the steps. Okay, we know that EA is the EMF generated in phase A. So EA is a phase value. EA is the phase voltage, and VA, VB, VC are the phase voltages. VAB, VBC, VCA are the line voltages, but calculated in per unit on the base of phase voltage. On the base of phase voltage, because we have taken EA as 1 per unit. It is a phase value, and VA, VB, VC are also phase voltages. Okay. So now while converting this line voltages into its actual units, you have to consider the base voltage of conversion as the phase value of the given machine voltage. Okay, so this is very, very important. Don't get confused. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can stop till step 7. Okay, so step 7 you will get line to line voltages in per unit. But if you want to write down in actual units, this is the procedure. Okay, so VAB, VBC, VCA, though they are line to line voltages, the calculation of those line to line voltages are done on the base of the phase voltage. Okay, because VA, VB, VCE everything are phase voltages. So to convert this line voltages from per unit into actual value, you have to convert using the base voltage phase value of the base voltage. Okay, what is the base voltage? 13.8 kV. That is the line value. So if you want to convert the 13.8 into phase value, it is 13.8 divided by root 3, which is 7.97 kilovolt. So now 7.97 kilovolt is the base voltage phase value of the base voltage. So now you find out the actual value of line to line voltages using the 7.97 kilovolt as the phase value of base voltage. Okay. So when you substitute and calculate, you will get the actual units of line voltage like this.